I decided to step out of my comfort zone. 2 days, no spinning gear. Instead, the fly rod.
New rod, new toy, actually a custom rod.
On top of that, I broke out the old vise and materials and began to tie some patterns. I knew this would be a challenge, but I've had success with the fly rods on this channel before. I thought to myself, no matter how it goes, I'm going to keep it real and show you guys how it went. With that being said, day one. The first morning was an early one. I loaded up my singular fly rod and a handful of flies, a super simple arsenal. I was greeted by this sunrise, a subtle hint that we could have an amazing day on the water. No breeze, no clouds, it looked awesome. The tide was low. I saw oyster bars exposed all across the bay. I knew we were going to have some sight casting opportunities when the sun came up.
Alrighty guys, I don't know if you guys can notice, or obviously you guys can notice by now, but we're fly fishing today. Guys, so excited. Got a new rod, new toy, actually a custom rod. But guys, new line on the reel, beautiful reel right there. And guys, I don't know if you can tell with this rod, but I actually had someone reach out to me, a nice guy on Instagram a couple months ago, just saying he liked my videos, whatever. He builds rods. And then a couple weeks ago, he reached out again. He's like, hey man, I got an extra blank. Do you want a rod? And I was like, hell yeah, I want a rod. So got this new fly rod from Jonathan Hill, Yellowfin Fly Rods. He's based out of Colorado. Isn't sponsorship or anything, just a nice guy, you know, just wanted to help me out a little bit. But if you guys know, my 8-weight before was utter shambles. I had the rod forever, just not the best thing in the world. So I'm super excited to use this. I hope we can get on some nice fish. Super low tide, which is awesome. I love low tide. There's fish pushing up here. Got a nice soft pattern. I just got it a little wet, so it looks different, but orange eyes, little shrimp pattern right there. Should land soft. Sometimes it can be a little hard to turn over, but we'll figure it out today. Not the greatest fly fisherman in the world. I'd be the first to tell you that. But with that being said, I'm excited. We're gonna get on them and let's go get some big fish. Guys, I'm hoping we can knock one out early. I wanna get on the board as quick as we can. Yeah guys, I'm super excited. This fly rod is awesome. I probably showed you guys some quick footage of it. Such a beautiful rod. The grip is nice. My last fly rod would literally give me like blisters. But check him out, he's a nice guy. Been doing it for 7 or 8 years, he said. Can tell he obviously cares about what he does and puts some time into it, so. Swiped at it. He just tried to eat it. I just need to see him come up and roll again so I can get another look at him. Yeah guys, I was gonna go that way, but there's tarpon rolling this way. Snook just blew up. Yeah, big school of tarpon in front of us.
For the next 20 minutes, I followed around these tarpon. If you've done the same, you know it can feel like you're chasing your own tail. So I decided to turn around and head down the line looking for redfish and snook. The morning was so calm. Oysters were exposed, providing opportunities for me as well as the waiting birds.
I love how low tide it is though. You see the oyster bars. It's about 7:40, by the way. So good morning to you. That was a big snook. Alrighty guys, well, there's fish here confirmed. I knew that because I fished here before, but that was a 20, I don't know, it's hard to see, almost slot snook. Gosh, I wish I had a spinning reel. Guys, these things are everywhere. I cannot get one to bite. Well, I know where I'm coming next with the spinning reel, that's for sure. What's on it? I just had one eat it. They keep missing it. Alrighty, guys. I mean, I think I need a little breather. This is insane. This has been the most frustrating morning in a minute. I mean, it is just like, genuinely, I didn't know it was possible to have this many tarpon be around. There's so many fish around. They're starting to roll less and less just as that sun comes up. It's like, gosh, there was 100 tarpon around me. I mean, that bird just spooked a big fish. Like, there's so many fish here. It's insane. But I just snapped off on an oyster. I think that's a sign that maybe I should swap it out for a bait fish pattern. The shrimp wasn't working that well. I had 2 tarpon come and swipe at it. Both of them missed, which is just insane. But my fly's moving like a mile an hour. I don't know how they miss, but sun's starting to come out, so really need to turn something on soon. I was trying to have it be a quick morning. That might not be in the works for us. We're gonna switch to a mullet pattern. If I don't get anything, I'm gonna come out tomorrow morning as well, because I really need to get a video out for you guys. Alrighty, guys. Let's see if that doesn't do a little better. Just white with some like kind of gray. Let's see what happens.
I continued down the line, and as I turned the corner, I was greeted by some big fish.
I think I see a fish. Yep. Crap, man. It was too aggressive. Nice snook or red or something. That's the thing, is I feel like I'm not accurate enough to place it like exactly where I want all the time. So if I aim like, for example, if I aim to the left of that fish, I might end up 10 feet to the left. That's why I typically just go right at it, you know, and just hope whatever. But I threw a dot that time and I threw it right on top of him and spooked him. Massive fish right there. Big fish. Should be a decent cast. I think it's a big snook. Big snook looking at mine. There he goes. That was nuts. I don't know how. I didn't know the best way to approach that. But there's a lot of fish here, guys. I think it's a tarpon right here. That was a 40-inch snook. Oh, that was a massive snook. It was just floating up top.
As you guys can tell, our first trip was full of trials and defeats. I saw so many fish and had numerous missed eats. That giant snook that was just floating on top of the water chased after it and just didn't commit. I think I had some trouble and just couldn't figure out what speed these fish wanted to retrieve at. I either went too fast or too slow, and with that being said, none of them committed to the bite. In line after today's failure, we were back at it the very next morning, hoping to change the fate of this video. I got out a bit later the next morning. The sun had already crept up when I was tying on my fly, and I was ready to have another day trying to get some big fish with the fly rod. I was excited as the sun was up and I've had plenty of midday success in the past. I tied on the fly and it was time to get after it.
Ooh, that was a nice hit. I don't know what that was. He just missed it. There's a lot of fish right here. I need to get it in the shade. I think it's a little tarpon. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think it's a nice snook, a little snook. Guys, this is so fun, man. I have already seen, I know it's gonna be a good day. The amount of action just at this little spot alone. New fly rod, new line. It's hard to tell how big he is. I think he's probably low 20s. Beautiful snook on fly. Oh, he's a little guy. Let's get this net. Come here, buddy. There we go. Look at him. Beautiful snook. He's not big at all, but. Alrighty, guys. Beautiful hook set right there. Let's get this guy in the water real quick. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, guys, just throwing this first fish on this fly. Just a little bait fish. I put bigger eyes on it. I feel like the bigger eyes really gives it a nice little bait fish look. Who knows? But first fish down. What I can tell you guys, though, is I think it's going to be a really good day. That was pretty quick. Little snook. Those big ones where that came from. Also, there's a lot of tarpon around here. Saw a good amount rolling earlier. Big guys too, like 30 pounders. On fly, that would be a beast.
Even though that snook was very small, after our day yesterday, that was very much appreciated. I ended up working into pockets and indents while fishing down this line, hoping to stumble upon a beast. The next 30 to 45 minutes was rough. No fish, not having a bite. What's so strange is there was bait fish everywhere. I would see the occasional tarpon checking out this bait, looking for a quick bite to eat, but I was starting to lose hope. I ended up working back into this little indent and saw some signs of life, hooking into a monster while doing it.
This manatee's just following me around. Wow, this is gonna be a nice fight. I'm screwed. Kind of glad that hook pulled. Oh, it didn't pull. Massive jack. Look at that. God, a school of jacks. Are you kidding me? Well, this is gonna be a fun fight. God, why is he running in the mangrove so much? Can you imagine if this was a massive redfish or something? Oh, he snapped or pulled. Yep, snapped. Oh, there goes my fly. Well, as you guys can see, snapped me off. What I'm gonna do is just retie. It was a big jack, so that's why I'm not kind of disappointed. I don't really care about catching jacks. I knew right when he hit it, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be either a long fight or I have no shot. He had me way up in the mangroves. But with that being said, guys, he cut me kind of towards my tippet. So I'm just gonna tie on about 2 more feet of 30-pound fluoro just for some bite tippet, some shock. Been a tough day. I'm kind of whooped. It's been rough. It's like there's fish here. There's tarpon. Like right when I pulled up this morning, like I said, I was trying to get that camera figured out, which is so annoying. But right when I pulled up this morning, there was a nice tarpon rolling, a bunch of mullet. That first line I cast on, I got hit a couple times, caught that little snook. Maybe I went the wrong way down the line. Maybe I should have started the other way. Woulda, coulda, shoulda though, you know what I mean? So what we're gonna do is just keep working, keep fighting, going down these lines, whatever. But with that being said, guys, got my little fly box here. Just threw a couple I figured I'd want to use. Could go with this, but I think I'm gonna go with this. We'll throw the one with gold flash. Little shrimp pattern with some gold flash. I think that's gonna be key. It'll shine. A lot of times when I've been having success, it's with the new penny. So, and the new penny kind of stands out a little bit. Always wants a loop knot. See what happens. All right, tarpon right there. We've got to change this day around. I'm just gonna post up in the middle. Cast as far as I can. Yep, there's a fish right here. There's a big snook or tarpon. He turned and looked at it. Obviously the sun goes down right when, like, are you kidding me? He was kind of floating on top. Big redfish. Yep, whatever it was, just looking at it. He swiped at it. I think it was 2 big redfish. One came up and swiped at it and just missed it. They were moving. I'm surprised they stopped and looked at it. Alrighty, guys. So, pretty disappointing morning. Was still on the fly rod. Pretty sweet rod. That's not to blame. I think your boy's to blame. Just didn't get the job done. Just heard some fish on the other side. I don't know. I think that I might need to maybe either tie up some different flies, or I don't know. It was either a tarpon or a snook on top of the water. Casted at it, he shot towards it, and just didn't really give it a look for more than a second. And then there was 2, I believe, redfish. They looked pretty gold, close to 30 inches. There were 2 studs cruising down the line, and I didn't really get it in front of him, but I still had one come up and swipe at it. And I'm just like, I think he just missed it. I think he wanted the fly. So can't really do much more than that. But I think what we're gonna do is go home, get some lunch. I mean, I have no interest. This tide is trash. It's high tide. It's about to start slacking out. And then, a little kayaker behind me. But anyways, this morning was slow. Saw some big fish, but didn't get them. So let's get to it. See you guys in a little bit.
I think I got humbled a bit this trip. It was harder than usual. Whether that is the extra difficulties sight casting at a big laid-up fish, or the lack of effectiveness when targeting those tarpon early in the morning, it was frustrating. Ultimately though, any day out on the water is a blessing, and I was grateful to be able to toss around the fly rod in a beautiful Florida ecosystem like we fished today's. We're 100% going to be back on them soon with the fly rod, but I figured I should post this to show you guys the reality of fishing. It's a grind, and these days were no different. I went back to the ramp with lunch on my mind and loaded up the boat to go home. As always, I appreciate you guys watching and for the continued support. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and God bless.